Hello and welcome back to my channel. Obviously, as you can see by the title, today we're going to be doing a recreation of the house from the show This Is Us. I love This Is Us. It is a great show. If you haven't seen it, 10 out of 10 would recommend. Also, if you haven't seen like the most recent episodes, I would maybe suggest watching those first. Sorry, I just got a text. I would suggest watching those first and then coming back to watch this video just because, I can't promise that there's not going to be any spoilers, honestly. So yeah, I would definitely come back to the video because, it's a great video, but I would finish the show first up to where it is right now, and then I would come and watch this just because it's a really good show and you don't want it to be spoiled by some YouTube video. But yeah, come back to the video, you know how it is. Also, I'm sorry if you can hear the rain in the background. It's not like super rainy here, but it is a little rainy, and so if you can hear that kind of staticky noise, I apologize. Also, it's way too cold for the place that I live at this time of the year right now, so I'm really not happy about the whole rain thing. That being said, I know in a lot of places it is much colder than where I am right now, so I probably shouldn't complain about it, but I'm probably going to do it anyway. Anyway, also, you may have noticed that at the very beginning of the video, the house just kind of pops up a little bit. I don't know why, but things keep happening when I try to transfer the video footage to iMovie. So pretty much every video I end up saying, I'm sorry that this footage was cut out, this happened, or this happened, and I keep trying to fix it and try new things, and it just never really, every time I fix something, something new pops up. So the like 10 minutes of video recording that I had at the very beginning of this video of me kind of setting up the house and like doing the floor plan and stuff are just gone. They just disappeared. So yeah, I'm sorry that that video footage isn't going to be there. I'm hopefully going to fix everything. It's a work in progress. We're figuring things out. Like I've said before, I'm really not great with computers. So just like have a little bit of patience with me if you've been watching my videos, and which you should because they're great. And they've been improving a lot. But yeah, have a little patience. I'm trying to figure it out. We're slowly getting there. So for the house, I chose to focus on the This Is Us like house that's later on. I didn't like okay, so if you've seen This Is Us, which if you haven't, I would really recommend it. Basically, it follows like a family from when these kids are like infants or before they're even born actually until they're adults, basically is a good way to describe it. And so the house you see kind of goes through a lot of changes because it's like at least 20 years of footage in that lifetime, or I guess technically it's less than 20 years, it's like 15 maybe. But so obviously they show the house a lot of different ways, and so I chose to focus on it more as the kids are teenagers rather than when they're younger because I think there's more footage of it, and it's easier to do because the furnishing style, whatever. So yeah, it's later on in the show when they're like teenagers rather than like when they're babies. So you'll see like Katie has a room upstairs, Randall has the room upstairs, and then Kevin has the room downstairs. So it's definitely when they're older, and the style matches like when they're teenagers, which I already said, but I wasn't totally sure if it made sense, so I kept repeating myself, but I'm sure you guys already got it. I think that overall, the dining room is my favorite room in the house because it looks really similar to the TV show dining room, I think, and it just looks really cozy, honestly. Like, that's the kind of dining room that I think I would want in, like, my house, so it's just like, I don't know, I think it's really nice. I also tried to make the kitchen really similar to the TV kitchen, obviously, because that's the whole purpose of a recreation. Also, you may notice there's that little popcorn machine that's right by the sink. The reason that that's there is because we don't have crock pots in The Sims. And if you have seen all of the episodes like I told you to, then you would know the significance of the crock pot and why it's there. And I don't really want to talk about it anymore because, like, Jack Pearson, But you should watch the show, is all I have to say. Like I said, we don't have crockpots in The Sims, so I kind of had to pick something that looks similar. So I put the popcorn maker right next to the curtain because, of course, it has to be right next to the curtain um, because it's really sad, you know. I'm not going to say anything more about it, or maybe I will. I don't know. It's quite an emotional show if you've seen it. It's like it tugs at your heartstrings. Um, if you like dramas, this is the show for you. Um, I am not a person who typically like cries from TV shows and movies and stuff. Like, but this show, like, it almost got me. It was pretty close. When the whole Jack Pearson thing happened, like I was pretty close to tears. And yeah, I'm not a crier. I don't really cry at TV shows and stuff. So I would definitely recommend this show. Um, it's really good. It really is. I think the thing that makes this show so realistic is just like the characters and the way that they react to things. Because for me, like, I cannot watch a show if it's not like realistic. And I don't mean that I don't like fiction stuff. Like, I Harry Potter's like my thing. Like, that's like my favorite thing ever. And that's obviously not realistic. It's obviously a very fabricated work of fiction. But like, for me to like a show, I have to like, the characters have to be relatable, and like they have to act like humans to me in order to like it. And like, even in Harry Potter, the situations obviously aren't realistic to what we know, you know, but the characters and their reactions are very realistic to me. Like, they act like real people, and so I liked it. Um, Even though, you know, the situation and the magic and everything isn't realistic. Like, an example of a show that I didn't like for that reason is Gossip Girl. Everybody loves Gossip Girl, like it's like everybody's favorite show, and I was just not a fan. I've watched all the episodes, I've watched all the seasons, and I didn't really like it because I know that the whole like East Side, whatever it is, like that's pretty unrealistic. You know, most people don't live like that the way that the people in Gossip Girl live, and that's not my problem. I just feel like the characters and the way that they behaved, like it's not, they don't act like people. They act like robots, and like they act like characters. And to me, that's just like not something that I really like, or not something that I'm really into when it comes to TV shows and movies. I like it when the characters are just really human like and they act like, you know, you would. And that's something that I liked about This Is Us, is that the characters are just so realistic, and everything they do, like I could just see somebody really doing. Like, for example, um, there's one point in the show where one of the characters ends up going into like drug rehab, and he brings his family to come to the like a family session for the therapy, and the things that the family says, they're awful things that they say, you know, like some of the stuff that they say is just heartbreaking and like really almost mean, but it's like that's the kind of stuff that people honestly say during those kind of like drug rehab things, you know? And it's just, I don't know. I feel like that's why I like it so much, is it's like even when the characters do stuff that you don't like, or when they're mean, or when they're, you know, petty or jealous or something, when they're not being desirable people, like they're real people, and so it's like interesting to watch because that's the way that people really react. So I don't know if other people are really into that the way that I am. Um, I know a lot of people love Gossip Girl and how unrealistic and dramatic it is, but for me, I like shows where the people act like people. Like Grey's Anatomy, sometimes it's really dramatic, you know, like there's so many dramatic things. Like they are in a plane crash and like there's a shooting. Sorry, that's my dog. Hold on. Give him a second. Sorry, he's done now. The weather where I live is like really dry right now, and so I think it's drying his skin out, and so he's been like scratchy. Like he just always is scratching. And he has a collar, so it makes that noise, you know. We give him coconut oil in his food, and we put coconut oil on his skin sometimes, but he still gets scratchy or itchy or whatever. Anyway, moving on from my dog and his various health problems. Um, what was I gonna say? Gossip Girl. Oh no, Grey's Anatomy. You know, they are in a plane crash. There's a shooter at the hospital. Like there's so many dramatic things that go on in Grey's Anatomy. You can't even count them on one hand. You can't count them on two hands. But like the way that the characters react always seems really realistic to me, and so I enjoy that. So yeah, I really like This Is Us. I feel like it's really realistic and just a really good show. So we've obviously moved on to the upstairs. Now I was kind of talking about TV shows for a really long time, but it seems appropriate because we're making a recreation of a TV show house. So right now we're doing Katie's bedroom. Um, the bedrooms are kind of hard because the bedding doesn't always work, and like, there's not a lot of beds that we have, and things just the bedrooms I think were the hardest because they don't really match the style of the show and the colors and everything. Um, One thing that I did try to make sure that I got was that red chair. I don't know why it like really struck me when I was watching the show, but Katie has like a bright red chair in her room, and it got me. Also, one thing that I made sure to have is that little mirror across from her bed because Jack Pearson, of course, and he takes that adorable video of her, and it's like a really cute moment. Anyway, that's about it for this video. Obviously, we're moving on to screenshots now. I really hope you like this video because I really love this show. I think it's a really special show, and it was fun to get to do this. Oh, and one other thing I made sure to add was the dog food and the dog stuff because, that's part of the whole Jack Pearson thing. Anyway, I'm going to stop talking because the video is just about over. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any comments, questions, or concerns, just let me know, and I hope to get to see you next time. Bye.